Welcome. And welcome to this practice honoring the origins of this practice, this our Plum Village and origins, Thich Nhat Hanh more specifically, and expanding out to Marshall Rosenberg for me as well, the deep listening, loving speech. I particularly enjoy that version of deep listening, loving speech. And all of the beings that have contributed to this moment and this video and these words of gratitude for our pain. Yeah, because it connects us with our compassion, starting with ourselves. And if it's too hard to start with ourselves, start with the world. Start with your loved ones in front of you. Start feeling compassion for them when they're screaming at you at the top of their lungs. I'm in pain. Maybe not using those words. Maybe they're using different words, but oh, yeah, I bet they're in pain right now. I feel so much gratitude that they're alerting to me to that fact. And my ability to translate those words into compassion, into love and care and presence for them. Or care for myself as I walk out of the room and say, I love you so much. I'm going to walk away before I say something I'm going to regret. Gosh, I wish I'd done that so many times, but of course, when we're in pain, it's really hard to figure out what to do. And I invite you to start with gratitude. There's something here that I can feel grateful for. Breathing into curiosity about what that is without a should, starting with, I notice that I have a story that I shouldn't be in pain, that they shouldn't have pain, that my kid shouldn't have pain, right? I kind of roll my eyes a little bit there because it's like, who are we to decide for anybody that they shouldn't be in pain? Ours is just to sit there and witness, and I say just as if it's like nothing and it's everything. And can we witness our own pain as we do with a friend that we have the capacity for to sit with and hold with compassion, with care, in silence or simple words of, yes, tell me more. Breathing into that, do you have a story that there shouldn't be pain? Notice that. Be grateful for this when you realize, like, oh yeah, I do have that story. And it's perfectly understandable that we don't want to feel pain. It makes total sense. And can we experience it as body sensations? Just heartbreak. Again, that word just, like as if it's a just. And I have to say, do we have the story that we shouldn't be in pain? Do you have the story that you should be in pain? That pain makes you stronger? That is just as much a story that we can question. And curiosity and openness. Where did we get that? Can we just sit with that without judging it? Be grateful for any insights that it can give us around pain, around ourselves, around the world, around being in the world. Just notice, what are the things that we're telling ourselves around pain? And if this meditation is too painful, if it's bringing up, we want to stay within the realm of inquiry and get support. If it's beyond that, there's this space that we can feel gratitude for pain. And then if our nervous systems aren't regulated, it can, or if we're too spinny and out there, it's helpful to get support. It's hard to do this work totally alone. Let me change that story. I have found it very difficult, not just hard, to do this work alone because our species is very much a social species, whether we're introvert or not. So keep coming back to, what are the stories I have around pain? Can I feel grateful for what stimulates pain? Walking by somebody, catching their eyes, sending them love, a smile, and then have them look away. And breathe into that. What are your expectations there? Why would that be painful? And of course, if it comes up, of course, give yourself space to feel that, whatever it is. My experience is that it points to something beautiful pretty much 100% of the time. Trust me on this one. We're not looking for pain. We really don't have to. It'll find us. Trust me. It comes up. Tears come up, laughters come up. Just be grateful for it all if you can, if you have the capacity. If you have the capacity to look at yourself when you judge somebody else. And when you judge yourself, another opportunity to be grateful for, look at this, I'm judging myself. Another opportunity to catch it, to give yourself space to say, of course I'm judging myself based on the mother I had, the environment I was in, the culture I was in, right? What we're taught. Marshall Rosenberg described it as domination culture. And Thich Nhat Hanh described it as how did he describe it? I need some help with the practitioners in the audience. You can put it in the chat. That during the Bush administration, he said, there's many non-Bush elements in this country right now that created this president. There's the president, and then there's the non-president elements. That's how I heard him describe the domination culture du jour of that day. How do we describe it this day? And the pain that comes up. Can we be grateful for what it points to? The opportunity to gravitate to where our strength is. And for me, it's my compassion. I can ground myself in that, and I can ground myself in my love, whether it's for myself or whether it's for that bird who's caught in the top of the monastery, or the one that the crows are eating its babies out in front of my house. Ground yourself in the compassion you feel and the tears that you feel. And the anger is not so grounding, and it can be really valuable to acknowledge it. And as we give this blessing of gratitude, we can wish this for our loved ones. We may have to just do it ourselves. I'm not sure our capacity. My loved one has the capacity to feel grateful for pain, feel grateful for what it can teach us, without hanging on to the story of like, poor me, poor me, poor me, bad them. That's a story. It's the same old story. It's in the Bible, it's in the Greek myths. Poor me, bad them. And it calls for compassion and calls for care. So hoping, sending, loving this, having it embrace the world with love, compassion, with clarity, and with peace. Thank you so much.